Taking the leap and venturing into the wild world of art markets and craft fairs and all of that, it's really an exciting time, right? But it also can be really intimidating because there's so much that you have to keep track of and so much you have to remember. So it's easy to forget things. And if you're new to this world, you probably don't even know what you need. Today, I'm going to share with you my event kit. Everything from how to store it, how to transport, and what I pack it in, which is obviously this handy dandy container. So let's get started. And before we get too deeply into this, I'm going to go through and I'm going to unpack this kit and I'm going to show you everything that you need. I'm also going to share with you a checklist for everything that you need. So the morning of or the day before when you're getting ready, you can go through this checklist and you have everything together, which is going to be a huge help for you, my friend. Also, a little side note here. I'm going to use the word event, and it's going to go across the board and mean market, art fair, craft fair, festival, whatever. If you're trying to sell your art or your product or your craft, this video is for you. All right, first though, let me introduce myself. If you're new to this channel, you probably haven't met me. My name is Abigail, and I am here to act as your guide as you venture into the world of selling your art or questioning should you be selling your art or your craft. I hope that I can share some experience with you because having a mentor is really important, and so here I am to be your friend. Today is why an event kit, which is what I'm affectionately referring to it as. The answer is simple. It's so you're prepared when you get to your destination. That's it. Walking into an event is full of unknowns. You have no idea usually where you're set up at, what kind of situation you'll be in. Will you be next to a window? You have electricity. Will it be windy if you're outside, right? What you're walking into is a mystery. And oftentimes your trial setup at home isn't going to work for your event. Sometimes the flow is weird. I've done events where people can walk on both sides of your booth, that you're prepared for almost anything that comes your way. So from zip ties to duct tape to S-hooks and snacks, this whole video is gonna help you get ready for your event. So when you show up and it's crazy, you're prepared to shift. All right, let's start things off. This is my kit. It's my lovely, beautiful pink kit. I purchased this from Michael's, which is a local craft store that I think almost everybody in the world might have, but if you don't have one, look at Walmart. I've seen similar containers. So this is my kit. What I love about it, my favorite parts about this kit, it's got a handle, so I can pick it up and I can carry it. And it has these lovely divided compartments, which makes it so much easier to separate everything and keep it from being a jumbled mess. Also has this big opening area, so I can put really big items in here, and I'm not so restricted. So my event kit can be broken down into 3 categories. 1, supplies for a booth setup. 2, supplies for selling. 3, supplies for self-care, because we gotta take care of ourselves, okay? Okay, let's start with the first category, which is supplies for a booth setup. So, pack some freaking scissors. Have them. I can't tell you how many times I've loaned out my scissors. These are like the holy grail for events. And also with scissors, you should always have some duct tape. I choose this white duct tape because I have white tablecloths and I have a white tent. So I want my duct tape to match it in case I have to patch up any holes or tape back any cloths or anything. I want to make sure I'm all set and ready to go, so white duct tape. Next thing is S-hooks. I use these large S-hooks like this, but I also have some of these smaller S-hooks. So it depends on my booth setup, but I have both of them. These are for my outdoor booth, so I've got these walls that I hang my artwork on. They're these little mesh grid walls, and these little hooks slip perfectly into them for me to hang my artwork up on. When I'm indoors, or even if I'm outdoors and I need to hang something, these are great. I don't use them as much as I used to, but seriously, get some of these, spray paint them in whatever color you need. I have gold ones too, and keep a few of these in your kit. I ordered them, I think, from like Amazon, and literally they're just like plant as hooks. They're great. The next thing that you want to make sure going along with hanging things up is some chain. I know it seems crazy, but get some chain or some string. Have something like this to, again, hang stuff up. If you end up and you have less counter space for whatever reason than you anticipated, you're going to need to get creative and you're going to want to secure things from above. I've done this with ceramic like coffee mugs, and I've done this with like tote bags. The chains are nice. Again, spray paint it in whatever color you want. Get whatever kind of chain, hemp, rope, whatever matches your booth aesthetic. Just have a little bit of something just in case you need it. Another item that is wonderful is cable ties, or we call them zip ties. These little babies are perfect for securing your weights. They're perfect for securing back tablecloths. They are just amazing to have. I've used them for artwork. That if I have artwork that it's really windy outside and I want to make sure it doesn't blow off, I will secure it with my zip ties. Another thing, and again, this is kind of gross, but I use it, right? I'm a real artist, guys. I'm showing you my real things that I really use. So this is my sticky tack. I use sticky tack for securing my price tags so they don't blow away. I use them for securing artwork and paper so it doesn't blow away. It is an amazing thing to have, especially for an outdoor booth, to make sure all of your product and all of your price tags stay put. Another must-have is a lint roller. I think there's little like travel ones that you can get that actually have covers on them. And I definitely would encourage you, if you're purchasing a lint roller, then get something like that, because this gets pretty yucky traveling. But I just use what I have. I am a working artist. Sometimes I just have to use the resource I already have at hand, which was one of these lint rollers like this. And this is perfect because I use white tablecloths and I have pets that are dark furred. And so I will use it on my tablecloths to get off their hair or my hair or somebody else's hair to make sure it looks all clean and ready to go for my events. All right, and the last thing for the supplies for booth setup is your price tags. So I like to keep my price tags in this nice little handy bag like this, and that just keeps them from getting torn up in transport. This is just like a little compostable cello bag that I use for like my stickers and such. I do have a couple that I've laminated just so they hold up over time because I'm not switching them out very often. And then I have other, so like my prints are all laminated. That's an old one. So I've been doing some rebranding. And so these are all kind of older, but these are like my price tags for my oil paintings. So these will get hung up with them when they're getting displayed. So I keep all of these with me, and there's a business card in there too, but that works. And then I also keep this little file, which is like a super ancient file. Look at this. I don't even think they make them in these colors anymore, but this is really old. And I keep all my other extra sticky price tags in here. So it's really important to have extra ones because lo and behold, you will get there and realize you didn't get your stickers on everything. I also don't like to put price tags on all of my inventory because some of it gets sold online and I don't really want to send it with a price tag if I don't have to. And these price tags stick. So a lot of times whatever is just on display, I make sure has a price tag on, and then as I restock it, I just price tag it while I'm there. So this right here concludes the supplies for booth setup category. So we've got quite a bit. Again, this event kit is chock full of wonderful goodies, friends. So these are great. I want to go over just a couple things that as like a 2D artist are things that you might want to have on hand if you are a 2D artist. So I'm talking somebody who's hanging up artwork and has it wired on the back. First, you might want a level. I don't even know if I've ever used it, but I threw it in my kit because it's one of those things I don't want to not have it if I need it. I also keep wire for hanging, so in case one of my wires breaks in transport or something happens or I get there and something's not wired or it's not wired correctly. I don't know. It's one of those things I want to have it, and I have some wire snips too. And then I also have a couple these little picture frame hooks. Again, I keep these, especially for like indoor, if I'm hanging stuff up on a wall, if they allow me to hang things on their walls, because some events will let you do this. It's rare, but they will. It's really great to have some of these on hand, or like command hooks or command Velcro. I keep some of that in my pack too. So a great little bonus tips That sounded weird. Great little bonus tip for your supply. Okay, that was just category 1, which was supplies for your booth setup. So now let's move on to category 2, which is supplies for selling. So to start out with selling, what you always need, which is so important, is some sort of card reading device. It is so important to have something that you can read cards with, because almost all people use cards. I use Shopify for my website provider, and so I use them for my inventory tracking and processing all of my transactions, and so I have purchased one of their card readers. And make sure it's charged before your event. Which leads me into the next thing. If it's not charged, or your phone runs out of batteries because you're bored to death, this is my power bank. Have a power bank. Have it charged so you can plug into it or magnetize it to your phone or whatever and get yourself charged up. It's really important to have a backup battery, because 99% of the time you will not have electric hookup at your event. At least in my experience, it's literally like 1 out of every 20 of something for your money. Okay? I use a fanny pack. I started out with like a money box, but sometimes I have to leave my booth and I leave it with like a volunteer. And so I never feel comfortable leaving my money. Sometimes I just walk away from my booth because it's dead. So I take my money with me. So I use a little fanny pack. I keep all my money in the front pouch. And then I keep some of my essential and self-care items in the back. A pen. Why a pen? Oh, I'm so glad you asked, friend. Because you need a newsletter sign up. If you don't have a newsletter sign up sheet, get one. It can literally just be a piece of paper and you write at the top, please sign up for my newsletter. Social media is not guaranteed, friends. People taking your business cards, they lose them. Getting their email and getting into their inbox and starting a conversation with them is so important. Do this. Make it a goal. And speaking of business cards, make sure you have some business cards. I know that this can seem like a really silly expense. I do think that it's important. People ask all the time, they want to get your card, and following you on social media isn't reliable, because we all know that we follow tons of people and we don't see their content. So asking somebody to follow you as a way to keep track of you isn't really a good way to keep track of you. Business cards are at least a little bit of a better way. And for a long time, I wasn't sure if they were worth the investment, but I have had people call me back 3 months later, 6 months later, and I've had people make commissions, $1,000 commissions, $1,600 commissions. People will use your business card. And so that concludes the first 2 categories. So we did supplies for your booth setup and then supplies for selling. And so the third most important is self-care. And through my time with these events, I find out, first, I'm often alone. Not a complaint. Where'd you go? Oh no, what's happening? There we go. All right, oftentimes I am alone. This is not a complaint. It's just a statement. It's just where I stand with everything. I also don't have a bunch of expendable money that I have or that I want to spend when I do have it, which means I don't want to go buy food at a food truck or order DoorDash to my event or anything weird like that. I don't want to do that because I want to keep the money I make. Food. Oh my gosh, food is so important. Make sure you bring some food with you. Bring snacks, bring healthy things, bring finger foods, stuff that's easy to eat. Those are my recommendations. I like to make broccoli salad, so it's like a chilled food. It's really great on those hot days. So again, I'm trying to take care of myself. I like to bring like pistachios or like little nut packages, but I do want to say and put this out there. If you're bringing nut products, bring some like hand sanitizer, which you should be bringing anyways. Bring some hand sanitizer or some wipes to make sure you wipe off your hands before you handle any of your product or your money or somebody else's card, anything like that. Some people are crazily allergic to that kind of stuff, and you don't want to cause a reaction like that. That would suck. That would be a bad day, right? There's no bad event, but I think maybe that's a bad event, right? Other things that I find that be really easy snacks are like, I like to chop up some carrots beforehand and bring like little like guacamole or like hummus packages. So I bring those with me. Beef jerky, if you're a meat eater, that's a great great snack as well. So a lot of like finger foods, easy things. If all else fails and I don't have time, I'll bring like a ham sandwich because I can kind of pick it apart and eat it as I'm sitting there. But I have to eat and I have to make sure I take care of myself, because when we're busy at these events, it's so easy to forget to take care of yourself. So self-care is so important, my friend. And taking care of yourself comes with hydration. Not soda, water. Bring water. Some events are so amazing and they will actually come around and they'll pass out water and they'll bring you water bottles, which is so cool, but don't count on it. Most of them don't do that, especially if you're doing more of like the craft fair type events. These other events, they don't have the budget to do that kind of stuff, and they don't have the resources like volunteers or anything like that. So just make sure you bring water, things to make sure you have. And I'm going to show them to you because it's show and tell. First, Kleenexes. Have some Kleenexes. These are something that you don't want. You'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And that also goes along to anybody who has a uterus and goes through monthly cycles. Make sure you bring anything that you need for that as well, because again, same rule applies. You'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Okay? Okay. Second is chapstick, lip gloss, something. I bring lip gloss and chapstick. Lip gloss doesn't hydrate very well, so I bring both. Another item to bring that is super important, which I find to be crazily important, are mints. I do mints because I don't like to be chewing gum while I'm talking to people. I'm too expressive and I feel like I'm gonna like spit my gum out at them. I don't know, I feel like I can't speak. So I like to do mints. This is not an essential item, but it's definitely up to personal preference. It's something I want to have because I struggle to retain my body heat, and I also have issues with my nerves. So when I get cold, it's really bad for me. So I keep some of these hot hands, warmies, something that I can stick like in my pockets, especially if I'm outside, or I can put it in my shoes because that's where my nerve issues are the worst. These are really, really helpful. Another thing is Advil, ibuprofen, Motrin, Tylenol, acetaminophen, some kind of pain reliever if you take those, because to be really honest, smiling a lot and talking to people tends to cause headaches. So self-care item, which is my favorite, is a sketchbook or a book or both. Bring something to keep you busy because sometimes these events are slow and boring. Last two things I'm going to throw in here real quick that I didn't put on the list, but these are little bonus items again. A scrunchie, hair tie, something. If you've got long hair, when you're setting up your booth and it's falling in your face, it's really, really annoying. Scrunchies are great to keep it pulled back and not get creases, right? We know this. Next thing is bug spray. These outside events, especially if you're on the grass and you're out there when it's like sunsetting, you do not want to get eaten up. I use some all-natural stuff that works really, really well to just take care of whatever's jumping up out of the grass. Like just some of those little like no-see-ums and the gnats. I get it from doTERRA, and it's like their Terra Shield, and I put it in a bottle with distilled water, and I just spray that, and it smells really nice, and people always compliment how my booth smells, which is really fun. So that's what I love to use. But if I'm doing a nighttime event where I know the mosquitoes are going to be bad, I don't know mosquitoes. They eat me alive. They love me, but I die. So I will then bring some like off, something a little bit stronger, or like some of those family safe ones or whatever, and step out of your booth to spray it and spray it on you. Make sure you're not spraying it near anybody else and inside. These are just general booth courtesies, and maybe I should do something about that too. Let me know if you're interested in another video talking about events and event courtesy with your neighbors, because I think almost everybody's pretty good, but sometimes we just need reminders, so let me know. And again, if you're new and you don't know, there's one place to find out, and I'm your girl. I'm your guy. I've got for you today, so I hope that you found this helpful. Make sure you head down to the description and download that checklist so you can use that to help prepare for your next event. And let me know in the comments what you thought. Let me know if you found this to be helpful. I want to hear where you're at in your journey. I want to be here. I want to be your guide. I want to be your mentor. I want to be whatever. I'm here for you. So if you've got questions, let me know. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye, friends.